Good evening, SpeedGaming, and welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer Hybrid Major Glitches Tournament. We are at Game 2 between ObscureLifeForm and Furaime. My name is Zeke Highland, and joining me in the commentary booth is Malmo.
Hello! Sounds like we're about to start fairly soon. Just waiting for the runners to get ready. So yeah, this is the second game of possibly 3 in a row that these two are running. It's quite the feat that they have put themselves up for, and we're kind of hoping that they get to run a third race because that sounds like a lot of fun. So last game was taken by Furaime, who hit go mode fairly soon with just a sword missing and was able to find one against tower. And hopefully that we'll see a close race again today.
And we're off!
All right, just Rippies in Link's house. We always check the island first when we're coming out of Link's house because that gives us a peek at an item we can get right away. Just a heart piece. We're not going to be taking that today, but looks like Furaime is going to go for, well, not sure actually. Okay, here we go. Looked like he was going to go for a kill and hope that he could get to the hobo clip spot, but missed the guard and is going to Sahasrahla instead.
I've heard some people refer to the Sahasrahla start as the uncle start of glitched modes.
Yeah, Link can have 2 uncles. That's a lot of people have more than one uncle.
A lot of people do. And green pendant check is Misery Mire.
Ooh, spicy. So Mire is spicy. You want to tell us why Pendant Mire is particularly spicy in this mode?
Well, viewers may have noticed that we called this the Hybrid Major Glitches Tournament instead of the Major Glitches Tournament. And that's because, for the most part, our logic is just overworld glitches, but there are just 4 underworld clips that can also be used in the logic. With one of those being Mire to Hera and another being Hera to Swamp.
So yeah, using those clips, you can get from Mire to Hera to Swamp and use keys from the originating dungeon to unlock doors in the other dungeon. The logic can expect you to take a Mire small key all the way to Swamp to unlock it from the inside. It can also expect you to unlock doors in Hera to climb the tower without the big key. So Pendant Mire means that we might want to avoid going to Mire entirely and route around that, which can be interesting.
That can be interesting. And we have a little bit of divergence here, as we're getting one person going north to Lumberjack to go into Lost Woods from that way, while OLF is in the going from the south, which could lead to a Lumberjack ascent. And everyone likes to see a red rupee on the Lumberjack tree.
Yeah, this is not... We don't want to actually see all dungeons, even though this is based on the All Dungeons RMG speedrun. So we hope that the Aga Ledge is dead right away so we don't have to deal with that wizard.
And if Obscure is proving me wrong by just going down to Kakariko, that's completely understandable. There's a lot of items on the Kak loop, especially in an overworld glitch logic, as we consider Desert Palace part of our overworld loop.
Yeah, on the other hand, you know, Kakariko is usually where you get your starter kit in most game modes, but the Sphere 1 is a lot more open in glitch modes, so Kakariko doesn't necessarily get as stacked as it does in other modes. You go in there hoping you find like a sword or something else, but usually you don't get your whole shebang that you get in like open.
Yeah, it's common to see items here, just not near as many. Although I have seen completely stacked Kakarikos before, and completely empty ones. And that's a book.
All we've seen is the book and blue mail and a whole bunch of red rupees.
And
Sword
a
is nice. Like I said, a sword is often here because there's just so many checks. But, you know, the sword is good because it makes the other checks easier if you're going to be doing mountain plays. You do kind of want to have a sword for that.
Plus, our viewers might notice we started with Pegasus boots, and the sword means we do have access to spin speed to make some of our clips much easier.
That's true. You don't need spin speed to clip, but it can make it easier. You don't have to mash your buttons as hard when you're spin speed clipping. You just have to arm the state and then clip through certain walls. Super easy to do.
The book is also nice to be found here in Kakariko because we can take that and go check Bombo's tablet immediately once we're down in the desert area.
One less thing to worry about later. A lot of people will put off Kakariko hoping they find things like the book or the bottle or the magic powder because then you can get more bang for your buck in this area. Is Obscure skipping library?
It looks like Obscure skipping library for now.
Oh, that's a
glove. So that's how you steal the item from the race game.
It's extremely quick compared to going through the door. Furaime will show us what was actually on the library. I'm a little worried that Obscure doesn't know that he skipped the library and might never come back to it. So for his sake, we hope that it's nothing. Or that I'm wrong and that he actually did check it. Oh, Furaime is going to talk to the man. I believe this is Christos Owen. That's what I was told.
Oh, the tavern patron is another one of our favorite jokers. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Joins the like of Blind and sometimes Ganon.
Alright, Obscure got bailed out by Heart Piece on Library. Does not have to worry about that check.
This is actually a fairly favorable key layout for Desert, provided the second item is here.
True. A lot of people will treat this part of Desert as overworld and then come back for land mode later. Even if they have the weapon for it, you often want to put it off until it's faster to kill the worms.
The problem is, with the map, you kind of have to check the big chest, which is backtracking back to it.
Yeah, the key layout you really want here is you want to get the big key right away so you can get the big chest immediately and not have to backtrack. Now, this does make Desert a little bit awkward to route.
And we have another route divergence. Furaime has left with the glove and is checking back the escape.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense because you can hope for a fire source so you can actually get land mode when you're at Desert.
Or your Moon Pearl.
Yeah, we got a Moon Pearl and a small key in the back of Escape. We kind of hope to find a small key in the Escape. Or we hope to not find one in the Escape because we want it to be in Dark Cross. Because, first of all, you get to skip Dark Cross, but also, as I was alluding to earlier, with Mire being a pendant, you don't want to have to clip all the way from Mire to Swamp. Clipping from Hera to Swamp is a lot better if you can. And there's a way you can steal that key from Dark Cross into Hera by clipping into the Escape from Hera. It's not in logic to do that, but it is very convenient, and runners will pay attention to those keys as they find them.
We glitch runners like to pay attention to all of our keys.
HMG is the only mode where you get excited to find the Hera small key.
Also the only mode to be excited where you find the Hyrule Castle small key in a favorable place. And we have 300 rupees under the water, and I believe we had nothing on Bombo's tablet.
Oh, I think... Okay, never mind. I thought Obscure was going back for library, but it looks like he's just taking a teleport up to Checkerboard Cave, which you don't have to do that. You can just clip through the diagonal that's at Cave 45. It's a really easy clip. You can just spin speed clip it or boots clip it. I think you want to do a hook speed with your sword out, or you just boots clip it, but it's very easy. You don't have to jump down.
That's a fire source.
Did Furaime... Oh yeah, Furaime skipped out on all of Desert, so if he was hoping to find a fire source before coming back here, that might be bad news for him.
So, with the lamp, Fighter Sword Landmo is on the table. I don't know if we'll see it. because that fight can be quite slow.
It can be. I think lacking mirror, though, it might be worthwhile to do it now, because with Meyer being a pendant, you don't want to have to come back to this area at all for any reason. But Obscure says no, coming back later will save time overall. I missed if there was 2 items in front of desert or not.
I also missed because I was paying attention to Furaime moving to another area.
Obscure's going to get his Moon Pearl as well. No worries about that. Moon Pearl gives you all of the Dark World access you need in this mode, so that's going to be really good to find early and not have to muck around in the Light World as any longer than necessary.
Now, most of our regular viewers know about Waterwalk from watching like NMG runs, but it's in logic for us.
Nice, nice dunk heart.
Luckily, we have a Moon Pearl to fix that.
We do, yeah. And so yeah, if you get that heart refill where it like puts you in the animation of receiving a full heart, and you're in a fake flipper state in there, you will get dunked. Oh, that's a sword. Furaime just saved and quit out of the sword.
That is interesting.
That is definitely a decision. I'm curious if he impulse save quit because you usually expect to find nothing there, or if he'll come back with money for Zora and then do it, or if he's not familiar enough with the clip and wants to come back with flippers or splash deletion.
Now that Death Mountain looked a little weird, didn't it?
Oh yeah, we're in Old Man Cave. Oh yeah, Furaime uses Boomer DMA. This is the old version before 2020. I think it was discovered that you can clip straight to the front of Old Man instead of the back of Old Man, and it's a little bit safer and a little faster. But Furaime has been playing this mode for a really long time and is using the technique to get up the mountain that he is comfortable with.
Hey, nothing wrong with using the comfort technique, because being comfortable means you're more likely to be successful.
Yeah, consistency is king. Like, you can save a few frames here and there, but in Rando, what really matters is that you can get through a seed at your best pace and get a little bit lucky as well, because let's be honest, it's a Rando.
Ew.
The mitts in Hera. All right, so
To explain my reaction, how much does Mitts unlock for us at this point?
Smith Chain and Ice Palace.
We can get everywhere else that the Mitts can get. That's both items out of Hera.
Oh, nice. So it's a crystal, so we will have to come back here for the boss, but we don't have to rush it. Also, both items in Hera, not something you see in other modes, because there's no key. Stop hammer time. Let's go. Let's go, Ether Tablet.
Now Furaime might wish that they had picked up that sword.
That is, yeah, that's the cost of save quitting out of there is, yeah, you really need to go back for that. Oh, he just paused too. He knows. He regrets it.
Hey, you always feel bad when you read that sign and find something you need.
Yeah, Obscure's missing the sword too, but that's simply because he just hasn't been up there yet. Both of them taking different paths across the mountain. Furaime's going to teleport up into the clouds, and Obscure's going to go to this land bridge that has the tournament winners written on it.
Yeah, I love that we put tournament winners on that sign.
Yeah, you too could be on that sign.
Any of these runners can, but you could be on that sign.
I have certainly bonked that sign plenty of times.
More than once.
Wow, look at the sync. Taking different routes across the mountain and still ending up in Spiral Cave at the same time. I hope the whole race is like this.
Hey, liquid flute.
A flute juice. And by flute, I mean one-time use bird that you don't have to activate, because you can drink that on the screen transition and it brings up the flute menu for some reason.
Even in the Dark World. Yep. That's the power of fake flute.
It's a lot more likely that they just hold on to that and never use it, because that's usually what happens. Or use it to either heal or make a fight go a little faster, refilling your magic. I missed where Furaime got the full magic refill.
I don't know, but we just got an ice rod. We don't know our pendant layout in the Dark World. So, who knows if that ice rod's important here.
Yeah, it's true. We don't even know if the cane is important.
I think I know where Furaime got that full magic refill now.
Ah, the Moldorm prize pack. There you go. Oh, so Furaime is continuing.
Titan's Mitts.
Yeah, this is a Super Bunny check. Or maybe even Hover Hookshot Cave.
Maybe down to Catfish. Furaime has options here. And we are... That is Pendant Swamp, too?
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Can we have a good HMG seed, please? Where we actually have to do Swamp. Swamp and Pot are both pendants. Both of the ones are dungeons you can clip into. So we may not see as much dungeon clipping as I usually hope to see.
So long as the hookshot's successful, anyways.
Furaime has got the bad news. Why Super Bunny Cave sucks when you don't have the mirror hookshot? I almost think it might have been faster to hookshot cave clip up here and then drop down and do Super Bunny from the top. Wow, this is a bomb jump.
It is a bomb jump. I quite like that bomb jump.
I would never have thought to do that.
It's quite a fun bomb jump to use, even if it doesn't... I don't know how much time it saves, but I think it saves a little time over doing a fall and a stair transition.
Oh, stairs are so slow. Like it's definitely faster. You just don't normally see it because you usually are forced to have either the mirror or the hookshot to get to this cave. But in modes like Entrance or HMG, you don't.
And that's a mirror in the bonk shot chest.
Yeah, he's gonna say mirror's good enough, not gonna hover that. Not even sure if he can. Oh, look at that dash turning.
Furaime's having fun with us today.
that was some indecision motions. Obscure also getting the bad news that this is probably just an overworld glitches seed.
I mean, we don't have Fire Rod or Bombos yet.
Yeah, that's true. And we also still have to figure out Hera, but Hookshot's not going to be upstairs, so we're probably just going to Hera pot like most people do. Yeah, Furaime's coming back for that sword. With he doesn't have a plan for the sword because he doesn't have splash deletion or water walk.
He's here for Zora.
This is okay. So he came from the mountain from Catfish, which makes sense. Yeah, that sword though, it's enticing.
Who knows? Maybe we have vanilla flippers right here.
Like, I think for Furaime, like, as far as the actual sword advantage goes, it doesn't hurt him to be on fighter, but it's locking the hammer in this seed, so it's actually a little bit more important than it normally would be. Like, the sword knowledge is more important normally than actually having the sword, but in this case, you want to have the sword.
Obscure, on the other hand, is going for the hover.
Oh, the flying fish. Let's go. I love seeing that thing hover. It looks so silly.
I mean, the fish sprite is fantastic. Getting rewarded with not much so far. Can you make the last hover, Obscure?
Really good clean hover.
Yeah, excellent hover for the blue cane.
Well, one advantage of the mids is you get to do Graveyard Legend King's Tomb together.
Yeah, instead of having to clip down a mountain twice.
Yeah, or what most people would do is just never do King's Tomb.
I'm weird. I go for King's Tomb first, usually.
All right, arming a water walk to get to... Where is he taking that water walk? Is he taking it to Ice Rod Cave? Oh, he's going to arm the water walk and take it all the way to Zora? I think that's what he's going for, that ledge.
He's arming from here and taking the portal to... Oh, Furaime.
He's getting his sword. This is kind of crazy.
I mean, that's smart whirlpool usage.
Yeah, Whirlpool you usually only see in NMG. And both of them are going to get the sword at the same time. It's so good.
No. Because Obscure came from the mountain.
Oh, Obscure isn't swimming or water walking. Oh, disappointing. But he has the knowledge. Alright, here we go. We got the clip. I am thinking now that the save and quit was just an impulse. Look at that hunt. That was good.
Furaime was not happy to have that Zora in the way.
This is your home now.
Yeah, the first time you do it, you splash.
There's a pixel where you can actually get inside of the fence. And then if you do the right movements after, you don't have to walk all the way around. But if you do the wrong movements, you soft lock.
Soft locks are bad.
Where is Obscure going? Is this an Eastern play?
This might be an Eastern play.
That seems odd, because he has Dark World access. No, this is Ice Rod Cave? Is this the fastest way to get to Ice Rod Cave?
He's clipping up to Ice Rod Cave to arm a water walk at Ice Rod Cave to get the sword.
It's not going to fix his camera, though. It shouldn't matter. Oh, this isn't the map wrap. Never mind. I'm confusing things. I was thinking of the one that gets from Ice Rod Cave 2 here, where you kind of slightly map wrap and go up.
I'll be honest, I would probably fake flute at this point. But I also love fake flutes.
You do. Fake flutes are fun. A lot of people don't really think about them beyond just moon pearl skips, but you can use them to get around the map pretty quickly if you are wise about it. Alright, Obscure is taking a more conventional route to Ice Rod. He hasn't been to Ice Rod Cave yet, so he has to check it. You can't just arm the water walk at Mini Mulorm.
And where is Furaime going? This might be... Yep, we're going Pyramid Fairy right now.
Okay, so what he did here was he climbed the mountain without correcting his camera, and what that did was every time he dropped down the mountain, his global coordinate desynced from where his sprite is showing to be. And the global coordinate is what determines where your mirror portal gets placed. So the mirror portal got placed at the pyramid, and he can use that to clip into Pyramid Fairy. Now he has to get there first, so he's going to take a Houlihan drop. I'm scared getting his dunk on the first chest and not the second.
Houlihan is one of our favorite shortcuts to get back here.
Yeah, we use it for traversal more than money, if anything, in this mode. Like, it's good for if you haven't done Zora yet and you're going to South Shore. But this late in the game, they've already both done Zora, so they're just using it to get to Link's house quickly from the mountain.
Goodbye, Zora. Oh, hey, a Quake Medallion.
These Zoras are terrible. It's actually safer to just go to the wall and start clipping immediately, because even if they do hit you, as long as you're embedded in the wall, you'll be fine, and you can keep clipping. In fact, it'll save you a jump. So hesitating on that screen and trying to kill the Zoras is a little bit more dangerous than just clipping.
Furaime also acquired the flute.
Alright, I guess. He can activate that at Thieves Town if he mirrors, if he really wants to, but the flute doesn't mean much in this mode. It's mostly just a convenience. And you have to weigh when it's worth it to activate or not, because activating it does take time, and getting there takes time. Yeah, just mirroring there is going to be 2 mirror transitions.
We have an item at Dark Cross, it seems.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He can go there and prep the... Well, he isn't... Swamp's a pendant. I don't even know if you would do that. It doesn't hurt to unlock the door, though, because you can prep for a key steal, and then come... If you do end up having to go to Swamp and don't want to go through Mire, you have that option.
Malmo.
Yeah.
Which room do you clip to Hyrule Castle from?
The beetle room. The one with the beetles and 3 pits.
Okay. So... There's a 1 in 4 chance you could gamble on a big key in the basement.
You could. It's. You mean like if you are
Stole
blind?
the Hera key and then checked the Hera basement.
Oh, Hera basement doesn't have an item though.
No, but if we had a big key, we could get up the tower.
Yeah, we don't have the big key though. The whole point is to skip going through Mire.
Yeah.
So you'd have a choice, like if you really wanted to do Swamp and Mire's in Logic and you just don't want to go there for whatever reason, you could Hera pot and get a key. But you could also just get the key that you know is there.
And Obscure gets the Master Sword.
Important sword because it unlocks the hammer.
And Furaime in the Dark Cross check. It's here somewhere.
Oh, are you? I see what you're saying. You're hoping that the big key is vanilla, so that you can
If
climb
you had
normally.
a little big key and you stole a key, you could climb normally.
That would
Not
make
something
sense.
I'd gamble on, mind you.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you can hover and you can skip the hook shot, and you don't want to look for the Mire medallion, you can skip the top of Hera access go mode that you would otherwise be put in. That we actually saw in a SpeedGaming daily race last week.
Again, not something I'd gamble on, but if you're desperate,
Yeah,
you could try it.
it might be faster than finding the hook shot, but only if you can hover. Otherwise, you're finding the hook shot anyway.
Well, that's a funny walk.
Yeah, you could almost say it's an auto walk because we are auto walking without controlling our character. So
you might
yeah,
say it's a funny auto walk thing.
that gets us off the mountain. Obscure using a conventional Death Mountain descent. Furaime taking that Pyramid Fairy portal and continuing to Hype Cave. Both of them are going to be taking kind of reverse routes through the Dark World. One of them is going to be coming north to south, which is a little bit faster if you are able to clear things on the way, but it does leave behind Mothula, no fire source for Moth, and no well, we have the hammer, so Thieves Town is good.
That's flippers in Hype Cave. Which we don't need.
We don't want
unless something's a swamp.
The flippers are another pointer to Ice Palace too, although we do have the mitts. So it's not what you wanted to see.
And in about 2 minutes, Furaime's gotten 2 shields. Now, the bow in Thieves Town is interesting.
Alright, first try dig from Furaime. Oh, this is going to be a conventional K45 check using a glitch called press Y.
I hear it's legal in NMG races. That's a cane in Thieves Town.
It sure is.
The thieves have stolen all of our progression.
Well, we have confirmed we do need the cane for TR.
And in the dig game, 4 digs for a piece of heart. And then a path back to the other side that you don't see very often.
No, you don't. I guess it's faster. I never really considered it.
This can be interesting. We're actually going to save the Smith at 28 minutes in a glitch seed.
Yeah, this is one of the cases where it makes sense to activate the flute because you can also take purple chest if you want to. But it also makes sense to activate the flute now, and then you can come back to purple chest whenever you want, as far as anyone would ever want to do purple chest. Because it doesn't really get any faster than it does now, other than just doing it never.
Do you really want to do purple chest? Chat telling us cane is not required for TR if you can hover the entire gap. I pity your controller if you do.
Not just the gap, but you have to get the big key too, and that might not be somewhere good. That might be behind torches.
I still pity the controller in that case.
Oh, this is a hard play for the Smith chain. Like, get it all done right away. It doesn't get faster than it does now. Even picking up the sit kit on the way. This is really good efficiency routing.
Yeah, this is good, efficient routing, and I like to see efficient routing.
You know what I didn't see from him, which I can see why, I'm predicting what he's going to do next, that he never went to Mire Desert. So activating the flute makes a ton of sense, because he can now just flute to 6 and do all of that together.
Yes. Especially where we've already done the South Dark World checks.
Oh, I missed Obscure picking up a bow. That does put him in Fire Rod go mode, if I'm not mistaken.
Fire Rod and Logically Hookshot.
Oh, yeah, he needs access to Top of Hera. So maybe
Obscure has proven he can hover for
Yeah.
GT. The problem is just Hera.
Hera, yeah, you can't hover to Moldorm 1. that's not a thing. So he's going to need either that crazy gamble that you were talking about where you steal the escape key and hope that it's in the Hera basement. Or more likely he's just going to find the hookshot or the Mire medallion at some point. Oh, I hope we see Hera access go mode. That's going to be fun.
That would be actually kind of fun for an HMG seed.
We saw it, like I said, we saw it on Monday in the SpeedGaming Daily. And both of those items, the medallion and the hookshot, were in Ice Palace.
Tell me it was a pendant.
It was a crystal, but they didn't have a sword. So they were doing swordless Ice Palace because everything else was just in GT.
Red Mail in the chess game.
Oh, we got a high five from the runners at chess game. So Furaime is going to go into Thieves Town and also pick up the bow and the cane. Putting him in the same exact position, except I don't know how he is on hovering. I think he can hover Moldorm Gap if he needs to, but not something he goes for by default. Well, I hope for their sake that it's fast, because as much as I want a game 3, I also want them to sleep at some point. And, you know, you don't want to wish a 2-hour seed on someone's game 2 when they're doing 3 in a row.
Oh, the 3 in a row is a treat for us to watch as runners, isn't it?
Well, it will be if we get one. You know, if Furaime takes this one, then there will not be a game 3.
And we'll still have a great series.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the promise that counts, right? The idea that something is at stake.
And Obscure is also turning in the blacksmith here.
This is such a close route. Despite coming from different directions, they've all done the same checks.
My question is, will Furaime check the front of Skull Woods? Because that is one play they can do that Obscure did not do.
He's certainly in a position to do it, and Obscure has already made the decision not to. And it's really not that hard to get back here with the flute and mitts if you activate it. Furaime got the bad RNG on Hellway and reacted really well to it, but continued to get bad luck and had to just power through it.
And that is why we call it Hellway.
Yeah, it's so bad. Like
We have a conveyor, we have spikes, a fire snake, and enemies that we can't predict.
Yep. And you can do all the right things and still get hit.
Obscure is not activating. Did Obscure activate a flute? Obscure doesn't have a flute. It's an uncle.
Oh yeah, that's right. He took a different route into the Dark World. So he's leaving behind the purple chest and can actually turn that in by mirroring. There is a clip you can do to get there faster. If you clip at the lower screen, kind of to the right of K45, and then you hold up, you can drop down right on top of the man. But he's going to go the long way and lift up a rock, which is fine too.
It's completely fine.
How often do you actually do purple chests in this mode? Like, let's be honest.
And we all know Obscure's got the execution when it comes to the NMG routing as well.
Yeah, he didn't make it through to semifinals in the main tournament for nothing.
So, yeah, like we said earlier, do what you're comfortable with. I missed the blind pun the first time through.
I'm scared getting the bad news that Swamp Palace is open for business. But it's likely to, if we find the Fire Rod, to just be here at Access Go mode. So Swamp doesn't really come into play until we get the Mire Medallion. Because you're usually expected to come in through Mire. Unless you get that 1 in 10 small key in front chance.
Technically, Swamp Palace is still closed, for most likely.
Not even technically. I think they actually cannot go to Swamp right now. I think it's impossible.
They can check the first check.
They can. And they can hope that it's not a small key. Because you don't actually want to do Swamp in this game. Like, it's a pendant.
You also hope it's not the Fire Rod right now.
Yeah, and there's a hook shot. There's no hook shot. Like, it's awful. You don't want to go there.
And hi, Ganon's Tower.
Well, this is interesting because GT is out of logic mostly when you're missing the hook shot and the fire rod. And those are the things that Obscure needs.
I mean, you can check. Obscure is equipped to check. Well, there's the hookshot is definitely required logically for that big key.
Yeah, so hookshot won't be upstairs. The big key is here, so he could climb. And maybe what he's hoping for is like he has to find the key anyway, so might as well just do it now. And he has access to all of it through sequence breaks.
Yeah, these runners can almost definitely do the lamp sequence break on right side.
And I wouldn't in Fire Rod Go mode, but you know, it's definitely a possibility if you wanted the key for climbing, for example. And the silver arrows in that room also are going to help a lot. Both runners will get them because they're right next to the big key, but getting them a little early makes things like Helmasaur a little bit faster. Although we're hoping we don't see Helmasaur either. Now that I think of it, the silvers don't do that much until Ganon.
They one-shot Argus.
Yeah, cool. Another pendant. And Vidi, too. Vidi's really easy with silvers.
All of our silver bosses, they make Armos easier.
Okay. They make Armos, yeah, free, I guess.
All of our silver bosses are pendants today.
I bet Ganon has a pendant, too. He'll find a way. You beat him and he gives you a pendant. You're like, God dang it, I had to get my crystal from Aghanim.
No, he gives you a green pendant. The Triforce is on Saha.
There you go. New mode. Thanks for inventing a new mode. Let's have a tournament. It's just 7-7 open with one extra step.
Looks like the Misery Mire area. Quake is our Furaime has Tower of Hera access.
Wait, where did that quake come from? Was that in Mire Shed? Oh, he had that the whole time. Oh no. Oh, a sword in Mire Shed. All right. So Swamp is in business now, and
Swamp is in business, and we can get to the top of Hera now.
I think Furaime is just gonna pretend Swamp doesn't exist for a while because nobody actually wants to go there.
So all we need now for collective go mode, for no mode, is a fire rod.
Yeah, I just realized that Furaime does not have the lamp yet. It's right here. I'll get it in checkerboard, but I wonder if that's going to prompt him into Mire. I hope not, because it's still a pendant. Normally you would think like, oh, I'll go into Mire, and then if there's nothing there, I'll just like clip into Swamp and unlock it, because that's something you usually have to do at some point, but not in this seed. It's not something you have to do.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't fire also logically required for going through Mire Hera Swamp?
It's not. So okay.
Fire rod
The fire rod for
is in GT.
Oh, we found the fire rod. So we're in no mode for hovering.
And this means that technically the hook shot can be in Compass Room here as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about the key logic, but I think it can be. I think there's probably a key upstairs or a key in Tile Room or both. So yeah, that does sound right. Yeah, I do want to make sure people know that moving the wall is not required by logic for Swamp access. Like, you can be expected to one frame clip that. It just never happens. Like, how often do you have Mire access and don't have fire? And are forced to take that into Swamp and get both of your fire sources? I've never seen it. I hope that I see it someday because it's cool, but...
Well, as runners, we tend to hope we see all sorts of fun stuff.
And besides, the one frame clip's not that hard. It's just the same one that a lot of people prefer to do in Swamp anyway, because it's easier than the bomb clip.
This tile room is always fun to watch be done.
Is this a key? I think it's not guaranteed a key. Because there can be a key upstairs. Once again, leaving behind Landmo. Is that going to be a problem? Is he going to have to run back for Landmo at some point? Maybe with the flute and mirror, it's not so bad. Probably just hoping for a better weapon.
Then fire rod and tempered sword.
Well, Furaime doesn't have the fire rod.
Right, that was in Game's Tower.
Correct. And so are the silvers. So once he does GT, Lambo will be faster coming back. Because I think he was going to have to flute to 6 to get back there anyway from Agina's cave, because that was the fastest way to get back. So at that point, you might as well do it last.
So we have one runner starting the basement, and the other one going up the tower.
Yeah, where are we in progress? So it looks like both of them have Thieves Town done, and are going to get their fire rods, but Obscure is still missing the Top of Hera access. So officially, Top of Hera go mode for Obscure, like we predicted.
And again, I believe Furaime can hover. At least the Moldorm Gap?
I think he can. I've been told that he avoids it if he can, but if he's forced to, like he's in go mode, like he is right now, he might do it. Like we saw he didn't do Hookshot Cave, but Hookshot Cave and Moldorm Gap are two very different things for the benefit of doing them.
Furaime will have to sequence break the big key out of DM's room.
Correct. But that's easy. Like anyone can do that.
I love watching Samaria block tile room.
Yeah, it's like block versus block. Oh, it was a key. Okay. I still don't know if it was guaranteed or if it just depended on a small key not being upstairs.
You think it'd be cold for fish to just flop around on the ice?
That is a really good point, though. Furaime is doing checks while we've been saying he's in go mode. So he might be hoping for a hook shot, knowing that the key logic allows it to be placed here.
I mean, for one, he has to find the big key.
Yeah, that's true. He actually did not go to left side yet, so that's fair. He found the fire rod and is like, oh, I can do these in logic right now. Might as well do them. And if the big key is here, I can skip all the out of logic checks. But also true that you don't do tile room for big key, but maybe you do it in hopes that you find something that makes it a little easier. Like the hookshot would make the Hera a lot faster, for sure, and not have to hover Moldorm is also nice. So Obscure has a chance to mirror to Uncle after GT. Do you think he's actually going to do it?
It would make sense given location, but I'm not sure myself.
Yeah, and does Obscure know that what he needs for go mode? That's also the question. Because he's still doing checks up here as well, knowing that the hookshot won't be here. So he's not looking for the hookshot. He's looking for something else.
He might be looking in case of Meyer Medallion, of course.
Yeah, he's also still on Master Sword. So it could just be a sword check.
I mean, Master Sword, even Silver's Master Sword isn't fun.
Furaime's not doing any hookshot skips in GT.
Furaime did do hookshot skips to Stalfos room.
Okay, he got the big key and left. I see. That makes sense. Like, he's not going to continue when he knows that he needs... that he wants a hookshot, then he's not going to continue behind the hookshot to look for it. Like, that wouldn't make any sense to do.
And the fish has made it across.
Oh yeah, there you go.
The fish sprite, it gets me every time I see it.
Map chest makes sense because the hookshot can be there if you get the right key layout. So yeah, he's doing a logic play. He wants the hookshot. He's not going to go behind it because that doesn't make sense to do. No, he's just going to hit up PR because it's a dungeon you can do that has a lot of stuff in it that you'll probably end up opening looking for a big key anyway. So if the hookshot is here, he'll have more chance to go mode other dungeons like Ice Palace.
This looks like the map wrap to Laser Bridge.
Map wrap? Not quite. It's a mirror wrap.
Mirror wrap.
Maybe we'll see the map wrap next because he hasn't done Skullwoods yet.
My apologies. Words get mixed up in my brain very easily.
He's also using a boomer strat for the mirror wrap, where you manually line up on the pixel way down low instead of doing a setup that was a little bit more recently discovered. I actually like knowing that strat, because sometimes I mess up the other one, and having that backup is really nice. Obscure just fell into the cannon hole. No! He just skipped Uncle. So, what? Maybe he just does Pyramid Fairy at some point, because he does have the mirror. But that was his chance to find Go Mode, and he didn't. So it's a little unfortunate, but you know, maybe the hookshot is somewhere else, like in Eastern. He's going to Ice Palace.
He's going to Ice Palace.
Okay. So I think we're in a hookshot hunt, because Obscure needs it for Hera, and Furaime needs it for GT. Needs it, I don't know how far, but he's going to do dungeons until he doesn't have any dungeons left to do, and then probably do GT.
So on one side of the screen we have a fire dungeon, on the other we have an ice. That Pengator just dodged all those explosions.
Oh.
How cool do you think that Pengator felt before it got killed?
I bet he didn't even look at them.
Looks like Obscure is not going to be flipping the switch before coming here.
Oh,
but there's the big key in right there anyways.
It's kind of the new meta to not flip the switch. That it is actually not faster to do so if you're full clearing the dungeon. And he is. We saw him open a bunch of chests. He is still looking for Hera access. Although I really like your idea now of just gambling tile room. It's kind of a cool idea.
It's such a slim chance it would work, though.
It's 1 in 4, and you have to steal a key, and you have to prepare for stealing the key. And Obscure, to do so, would have to go to the uncle, and then he would just find Quake.
And be in go mode.
It wouldn't matter. But maybe he thinks about it, and maybe that guides him to going to the escape.
Everyone's favorite fire rod torch room without hookshot.
Yay! Remembering that you don't have the hookshot for this room.
I take it you've made the same mistake I have more than once?
You're not a random player until you've made that mistake at least once. Sorry to gatekeep, but it's true. It means you haven't played enough seeds.
We don't like that big key being there.
No, it means the dungeon's not go-modable.
That is the least go-modable of this dungeon I think it can be.
Maybe Furaime likes it because maybe he was going to do hookshot checks anyway and thinks, well, my opponent can hover and we'll just go for it. And if I'm doing checks that he's not doing, I'm losing time. So anything that forces my opponent to do these checks is good for me. Little does he know that Obscure is also looking for the hookshot for a different reason. So where do you think the hookshot is? It has to be somewhere, right? There's a lot of dungeon left to do. There's a lot of game. All of Pod and Eastern is available.
I know where it isn't.
Yeah, it's not in GT.
It's also not in the back of Swamp.
No. It's the few places it can't be. And we've already seen Hookshot Cave, so we can't even say that. It's on Trinex.
Hookshot on Trinex?
Okay, so do crystals, get hookshot, and you're in go mode.
Well, that's a 52-minute go mode for Furaime.
Also a sword advantage. I don't know if Obscure is even going to do Mire Shed if he has crystals to do. Oh, Samaria magic refill to avoid using a blue potion. That is dedication. I did not quite make it, though. I think there is some... I think he just got hit, but there is also some index setting you have to do if you got... I wonder why he's really conserving his magic. He wants to use the fire rod for the fight. Okay, this is the map wrap to Skull Woods. So Furaime has a chance to lose all of his progress if he hard locks here.
Careful, Furaime.
It's not a hard glitch if you know what you're doing. He says no. He noped out. I think he actually didn't cross the transition correctly and wasn't able to do the map wrap. So it's just a soft lock.
And as a reminder, everybody, if something goes wrong, and you're able to save and quit out of it, do it.
Yep. As we say, stop, drop, save, and quit. Furaime's gonna just start doing dungeons now. He's in go mode. I definitely give the lead to him. If Obscure just keeps doing dungeons, he'll get go mode as well. But he's not gonna have the tempered sword unless it's on another crystal boss. Mountain is good. Mountain means TR. So, and they are close too. Like, Obscure did do a dungeon and the GT climb, and Furaime did not do those. So if Obscure gets the Trinex next, then we have a really close race, with basically just that sword advantage being the difference. Okay, this is good for him. This is TR. This is going to be his go mode. Probably going to be a little disappointed that he did all that hovering when he was in hookshot go mode, but getting to climb GT in one go is good. Knowing that the hookshot was available for him for Hera, and not having to all go all the way through Meyer is also good. So yeah, where was the sword? It was in Meyer's shed. Skier's not going to find that because we have no reason, unless he checks it on the way to desert, there's really no reason to go there.
Yeah, if he checks on the way to desert, it's a possibility because that is the fastest way for him to get to Land Molo, I believe.
He doesn't have the flute, so
he doesn't have flute.
He's just going to walk there from the light world. He's not going to do it.
He's not going to get it.
Nope.
I keep forgetting the flute was next to the Meyer medallion.
It was, yeah. If his go mode had been slightly different, then he might have had it. He still wouldn't have activated it, though. That wasn't going to happen. Ooh, nice hundo strat from Furaime on the silver arrows. I've seen that in
cool kill.
I've seen that in Ice Armos, which is something you do in hundo, but I haven't seen it here.
I have never seen that kill setup before, so color me impressed.
Oh, Furaime does have, I hate to say it in a glitch race, but he has the flute advantage. Like, he can get around the world just that much faster than Obscure can. Like, think about how much longer it would have taken Obscure to get to the back of Skull Woods, unless he can pull off the map wrap.
Flute advantage, even in... We call it a convenience item, and this is where its convenience comes in.
Yeah, come to think of it, I don't even know if Obscure knows that Meyer medallion is Quake. So if he had gone to the uncle and found Quake, what would he have done? Because he hasn't been there. If he had been there, he'd have the tempered sword. In fact, our tracker, Krithel, shoutouts, by the way, purposely didn't mark Meyer medallion for Obscure because he doesn't know what it is. Heads up play.
Big shoutouts to Krithel. What would we do without trackers, Malmo?
You'd have to have me as a tracker. That's what would happen. It wouldn't be good.
Would that have me solo coming, having to explain all the glitches?
Well, we could always swap places. That's a possibility. If there is a game 3, I take up that offer. Although we do have a volunteer for tracker for game 3, if it were to happen.
And down goes Mothula with the butter sword!
Well, so much for the sword advantage that Furaime has, because Obscure's going to get that too. He's not going to have it for this fight, though, so it might take a little bit longer.
Well, you were right. There's the sword on one of our crystal bosses.
I keep calm cursing this seed. I mentioned the Hera access go mode. I talked about the what if there's a sword on a boss. The seed is just, it's like a dream, you know? You think something happens. All right, Furaime gets to go mode Ice Palace. Maybe we'll get to see the clip. Maybe we'll get to see one underworld glitch in the seed. Come on.
We haven't had any, have we?
No, I told you, this is just going to be an overworld glitches seed. Except Hera access go mode is not a thing in overworld glitches. Here we go. We got the bomb clip to Ice Palace.
Okay, cool. Here's an underworld clip.
It's just faster. It gets you to the icebreaker room really quickly, and you can use that bomb to bomb yourself through the switch. And the switch is hit for you, so you don't even have to open any doors.
Obscure could be in trouble here.
Does he have... He uses blue potion on Gold Stare.
Okay, Obscure should be fine, provided he can get... Yep, Obscure is fine.
Oh, good. Okay.
It was looking a little shaky for a moment.
That was a little shaky. Furaime still has his blue potion. He actually has it out, which is funny. I think he was just quick swapping, though, to get the hammer. He does need the small key to progress. It's really easy to forget that key when you're used to speedrunning the game, because you get the key from the chest in the spike room instead. And he's not even going to open it. Like, he has butter sword and silvers. He doesn't need anything in this seed.
Butter sword, silvers, red mail. What more do you need? $12 hearts.
Yeah, this is not hard standard.
So it comes down to one notable difference here.
Well,
we have 4 dungeons on each side, with Furaime in one of those 4.
yeah, one of them is Obscure has GT climb as well. So that's the 4 dungeons for Obscure, and then
Furaime
the 4
has the
dungeons.
GT climb.
No, I mean has done it. Yeah.
Oh, I meant we have 4 dungeons left.
Yeah. So 4 left. And then Furaime's going to get a 5th. So yeah, Furaime is ahead as far as I can tell. I'm trying to think of how, especially with that flute advantage, it's going to be just a little bit faster to clear up Desert Palace and then flute to Hera afterward. And then do GT, and GT is going to go straight to Ganon, and Obscure is going to have to walk to Ganon.
But the big part is that early sword advantage.
Yeah, the early sword advantage, and then also just being in go mode for Ice Palace was a big deal. But Furaime choosing TR over Ice, Obscure could have done that too and just picked the wrong dungeon. And then would have go moded Ice Palace.
So given the Skullwood start, what route do you think Obscure is going to take for these 4 dungeons?
It doesn't matter. It really is just, he doesn't have a key. No, dude. You need a key.
Easy to forget that key, too.
Bonk. So, I think for Obscure, it's just a lot of save and quit because he doesn't have the flute. So there isn't really any good way to route these dungeons. Furaime is just going to mirror and flute like it's NMG. Also, Tower of Hera routes really nicely into GT because you can clip to Hera, do that dungeon, and then clip down to GT, and then do Agatu and Ganon. So I don't really see a path to victory for Obscure at this point, unless I'm wrong about something.
The Gibdo will not go in the spike.
No, and that's, that sword advantage again, is you can miss that with a tempered sword and not get punished too hard. But if you have Master Sword, you are hitting that mummy a lot of times, and basically just until you get the spike. Same goes for Mothula. Like, this is a slower moth fight, no matter how good you are at it. Doesn't look like it though. Like he just wow. Okay.
Even if you are good at it, that makes me jealous right there.
It's faster than my tempered moth. Let's put it that way.
I've had the occasional 4-slash, but that just looked like you practiced a lot of Mothula.
That was like 2 spins at the end were really clean.
Yeah, the beautiful moth fight from Obscure.
Considering the equipment that he was on, yeah, for sure.
Obscure
like, of course.
Okay, it looks like Obscure's going to take this to desert.
Yeah, he's just gonna hoof it. Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know if that's faster than Link's house, but it might be, given you have the mirror, and saving quotes are kind of slow.
My gamble wouldn't have worked.
Nope. Moldorm had his own key locking himself at the top of the dungeon. Why couldn't Ganon give the keys to all the bosses? There's actually a no logic mode based on that, and it's really fun. I highly recommend it if you're into no logic.
They're kind of mind-melting to watch. I've tuned into yours before.
Well, so yeah, I can see this difference now. Like Obscure still has to do all of Hera and all of Eastern after DP, and Furaime just has to climb the tower, and that's it.
It's still a good race to have watched, absolutely.
Oh, for sure. We didn't know until Furaime picked up the hook shot that who was ahead, because both of them were looking for it for different reasons. It was looking like it was just going to be a flat hover seed, and those aren't really that fun. So having it not be a hover seed for a different reason made it fun.
Shoutouts to the logically required double dip of Ganon's tower.
Oh, because you had to get the fire rod and then do hook shot. Yeah, that makes sense. This is kind of why a lot of people just wait until some kind of Ice Armos access to get to GT, but the seed didn't let you do that. It made you come in with only logical access to the first 3 chests, or the first 4. Well, it's a little bit mean. I guess if you go in expecting to hover, or expecting to sequence break all of that left side, you're fine, but if you're trying to follow the logic, you might put this off for a while. I could easily see this qualifier being really bad for some people if there were more people racing. But this is a bracket race and there's only 2 people, so.
The fact that Obscure can line up the fish is incredible.
I've never seen that particular bonk setup before. Yeah, he doesn't really have any incentive to do Hera at the end because everything is isolated from each other. Like Eastern is just going to be another walk, and then Ganon's going to be another walk.
Actually, it makes sense here to do Eastern before. Like to do Eastern after Hera because you can go down to the portal and walk from the Eastern portal.
Yeah, I guess if that's faster than save quit, it might be. I'm not actually certain.
I don't know if it's faster save and quit and walk from Link's house portal or go from the Eastern portal from Eastern, but
you get to be on full health. That's the advantage.
Right, we have Moldorm 2 for Furaime.
It didn't occur to me until now how fast the seed was, but we're only an hour and 8 minutes in. And Furaime is already fighting Agatu and about to drop into Ganon.
Yeah, an hour and 9 minutes in almost. Also, not something we see every seed. We're seeing Agatu before Ganon at the end as the last bosses. Where was the Eastern Big Key? Do you remember? And we're in phase 3 for Ganon.
That's a lot of warps. I would be pretty mad if this is a speedrun and it got that many warps.
At least we got only one warp between hit 2 and 3.
There you go. Ganon's just teasing us.
Phase 4. 4 bits of silver and the pig goes down.
Skier's going pretty fast on the Armos fight. Yeah, there you go. Wow. This is going to be really fast. All right, get your GGs in chat for Furaime, who has taken this series with 2-0, committing to 3 games in a row, but only needing 2 to make it to the next bracket. He's going to be facing our very own tracker, Krithel, in the next round. So wish him luck.
Yeah, Furaime versus Krithel. That's going to be a fun match.
Not gonna lie, I kind of wanted to see the mentor-mentee race. That would have been fun. But Furaime versus Krithel is going to be a really hype matchup as well. Both of them being very skilled glitch runners.
Mentor-mentee race? Was Krithel mentor to Obscure?
Yeah, the entire overall glitch mentor tournament. All 4 races.
I like seeing rivalries like that. Potential rivalries. And
sure.
ObscureLifeForm did forfeit following Furaime's finish, so we'll see if we can get our runners into chat. And welcome, Obscure. GG's.
Hey, thank you, GG's.
That was a heck of a seed. Like, you were gonna jet that too. Like, incredible time. Finishing your last crystal at 112.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, when I saw I was like 110 and I was in Eastern, like, I felt pretty good. And then obviously Furaime done the dot done, and I was just like, wow.
Interestingly enough, you were both looking for a hook shot for different reasons. Like, it seems like Furaime didn't want to hover GT climb, so he was looking for a hook shot and just found it on Trinex. And then you needed that Hera access, which the medallion for Meyer was Quake, and it was at Uncle. Furaime did that a while ago.
Oh, that's so annoying, because after I done GT, I was gonna check Pyramid Ledge and then check the Uncle, because I forgot to go back to Maya to check the medallion, and I would have picked that up and then gone over to Maya to check the medallion.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have been pretty slow to do Hera that way, and I don't know if you could have gained that much time over just doing crystals and getting the hook shot. So it didn't matter as much as it might have.
Yeah, true. Maybe it was better that I missed it.
The other big advantage was the other item found on Uncle, actually.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't think the flute would make a difference, but Furaime had a faster go mode just by having the flute.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
also found a sword in Mire Shed, so he got tempered a little bit earlier than you did.
Yeah, it was having that flute. Like when I saw the amount of go mode dungeons I had, and it was like Eastern, Skullwoods, Desert, and it's like, there's no good way to route this. I'm just going to have to run there.
Yeah. 4 different go mode dungeons in 4 different areas of the map.
Yeah.
How do you route this?
Yeah. I was like, do I Kiki and mirror over? Do I just run there? This is like, how do I get to Desert? Do I go to Dark World? Do I stay in Light World? How do I get to Skullwoods? It's just, it was crazy. I just didn't know.
I think Skullwoods would have been map wrap. It would be the only fast way to get there on your equipment.
Maybe.
And even then, you still have to mirror and do the hammer pegs, which I think Furaime had already. Well, Furaime tried to do the map wrap and soft locked, but he had the flute, so it didn't really matter that much. You just flute to 3 and go there.
And Furaime has declined an interview, but I have seen Furaime speak up in chat. So if you can ask questions to Furaime in chat, maybe Furaime will answer in chat.
Yeah, this one was definitely a fun seed to play.
Yeah, it was a good one. I love seeing that unusual go mode situation of Hera access, which we actually saw earlier this week with a daily race.
Unfortunate that was the only HMG required in this seed.
Correct, and you didn't even use it. You just Hera potted.
Yeah.
We got to see one bomb clip in Ice Palace from Furaime, and that was it. But it was the idea. It was the thought that counts. The fact that Hera was Mire Lock did come into play as a logical consideration.
Did he do Turtle Rock before Ice Palace?
He did, and I think that was really the clincher. This race was just which crystal dungeon you did next, and that's just. I even said at the beginning that rando is just a lot of luck, and that comes into play in these modes where you have so much of the world open to you at the start.
Yeah, I mean, nothing was too hidden this seed. I mean, you're eventually going to find it. I think the hardest thing to actually do was when do I go to GT, not having Fire Rod and not having Hook Shot. Because you're only really logical got the Torch and Hope Room and Tile Room.
And then the Hope Room had the Fire Rod blocking Hook Shot, which was kind of gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go in there either intending to hover or intending to sequence break all of left side. Or just go in there because you're running out of things. So you actually both probably took routes that would have beat other people if this was a larger race.
Yeah, because I managed to avoid all the pendants, so I was feeling pretty good. I was like, wow, I haven't dipped a single pendant. I've got a really good chance. And like I said, 110, I was finishing off Eastern. I was like, I'm done in a few minutes. Like, it's going to take him a lot to beat me. And then the done came through. I was like, well, there you go. He beat me.
Yeah, 111 is not a time you expect your opponent to get, like in any race. It's such an incredible time from both of you. So yeah, now that you're actually the first, not the first, you're like the second person eliminated from the tournament. What do you think you're going to do going forward in rando? Are you going to keep playing HMG, or are you going to go into no logic? You're going to focus more on cross keys or something else?
I think no logic's a bit much for you. There's a lot to learn, and I just don't have the time at the moment. Like, even getting around to this tournament, there's been so much going on. I've literally been doing stuff. I try not to race during the week, but like every day this week, I've had things to do, like in rando and games and other bits and pieces. So I've just been so busy. I haven't, like we were talking, me and Furaime, like before, saying like neither of us have had the time to really practice. So I was a bit worried going into this, but I mean, I do enjoy the HMGs. I will see if I can do a few pickup races. I'm going to practice the ADRMG, which is quite fun.
Oh yeah, the ADRMG is really good. It's a speedrun, for those who don't know, that corresponds to this rando mode. It's the same rule set. But yeah, if you ever decide tournament season is over and you have a little more time, I know a guy who might teach you no logic. So hit him up and see if you guys can get some races going during the day, and I can watch you.
I believe that same guy will be Furaime's next challenger.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true.
He also has to be this game's tracker.
Yeah, so yeah, that kind of leads well into give our runners a follow because both of them are doing some great things with Rando, and give our crew a follow as well. I got Zeke Highwind also in this tournament, and Krithel, our tracker, who will be racing Furaime in the next round.
And of course, give a follow to Malmo, admin of this tournament, my co-commentator, another runner of this tournament. Yeah, she does it all.
Yeah, well, with that, and that will be the last of this series, but there's more to come. We got it looks like we got crew for Spleeby versus Azter tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then there's also some more races coming up tomorrow. We got another one also at Arborelli versus Taj, so although that one's not crewed, you can follow the runners and watch them play.
Yeah, and it looks like we have a busy weekend of races too. So keep your eyes peeled on SpeedGaming channels for more hybrid major glitches.
All right, good night, everybody. See you in the next one.